Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles. And now we're getting close to the end of Sudokétudes set 6. There is only a couple of puzzles to go, and this one is one that I remember creating a while ago as I was experimenting in creating my own 10 lines puzzle, because I'm not very good at 10 lines. Yeah, we'll have to find out whether I am good at 10 lines puzzles or not. So 10 lines are a constraint that you don't see very often, but I think are incredibly good. And I really should try and set more with them. But we'll see how we go. This is speed limit. Now, of course, there'll be a link below to where you can try this puzzle for yourself, as well as to the entire Sudokétudes and Sudoku Takeout archive. What's the difference? Sudoku Takeout tend to be sets of a dozen puzzles based around the same constraint, whereas Sudokétudes tend to just be whatever we're playing with at the time. So Sudokétudes will mix things up. Sudoku Takeout will be hyper-focused on a single constraint. Let's have a look at speed limit. So what do we have? We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. And then 10 lines. Digits on a 10 line must be divided into one or more non-overlapping sections that each sum to 10. Digits may repeat on 10 lines if allowed by other rules. So for example, it might be possible to turn around and say those digits sum to 10 and those digits sum to 10, but you couldn't turn around and say that we've got those 3 digits summing to 10 and then those 3 digits summing to 10, because then we would have an overlap. So it must be individual sections that sum to 10 that do not overlap. That's the way 10 lines work, and they can be a little bit tricky, and I've definitely struggled with them in the past. Setting a puzzle with them was always interesting. So let's restart the puzzle. To restart my timer, let's give this a shot. This line does look interesting because you can't put 10 into a single cell. So a 10 line section must always be at least 2 cells long. But this is a 5 cell long 10 line. Now, I have no idea how long ago I set this one, but it's definitely been a few months. So you could do a 2 cell longs. If I did a 2 cell long 10 sum, that would leave 3 cells. And you couldn't do 3 cells as a 1 and a 2, because that would mean putting 10 into a single cell. So if I did a 2 cell long 10 sum, that would leave a 3 cell long 10 sum. If I did a 3 cell long 10 sum, that would leave a 2 cell long 10 sum. You can't do 10 in 5 digits, or can you? No, because the minimum in here would be 3, 4, and 5, and 3, 4, 5 already sums to 12 because I can't use 1 and 2. So it might actually be possible to do like 1, 2, 3 with a couple of 2s might be possible on a 5 cell line, but it's not in this section. In this section, it's not possible to do a 1 cell. So if I did a 4 cell section, then that would leave a single cell section having to sum to 10, which doesn't work. So this is a 3 and a 2 cell section of 10 sum, but the minimum here is 3, 4. But these are a minimum of 3. And this is a minimum of 3, 4. This is a minimum of 3, 4. But I could make those... But how do I do the 3 cell... One of these must be a 3 cell 10 sum section. Because as I said, if I didn't make a 3 cell 10 sum section, I'd have a 2 and a 2, and then there'd be a 1. One of these must be a 3 cell 10 sum section. So what is a 3 cell 10 sum section, considering I can't put a 1 on this line anywhere? The only way to do 10 in 3 cells, the minimum is 2, 3, 4. And to get to 10, I need to increase one of those digits by 1. So the 3 cell section has to be 2, 3, 5. And I can't put 2 in any of those cells. That's a 2, and this is a 3, 5, and the 5 is making that the 3 and that the 5, and the 10 line divider is there. That's interesting. Now this is a 10 sum, which is either 3, 7 with a 3 here and a 7 here, or a 4, 6. That's really interesting, and that's probably where I started making this. But the same is true here. One of these must be a 3-cell 10-sum. And I can't use a 2. So there must be a 1 in the 3-cell 10-sum. Otherwise, if there's no 1 in the 3-cell 10-sum, then if there's no 1 in the 3-cell 10-sum, then the minimum would be 3, 4, 5, which is 12, because I can't use a 2 on this line at all. And I can't put a 1 in any of those cells. So this is a 1 in a 3-cell 10-sum. Now, I can't put the 3-cell 10-sum like this, because that would mean both of those digits need to be 10, as they'd be individual 10-sums. So this is broken into a 3-cell 10-sum and a 2-cell 10-sum. And again, the division must not, that's not what is there, because I can't put an X, unfortunately, on the intersection to make a divider. But that's fine. So the division is here. I wish I could make a smaller line, but that's okay. So those digits there have to sum to 9. Well, they can't be 1, 8, because I can't put 1 in either of those cells. They can't be 1, 9. They can't be 2, 8. If they're 3, 7, it's 7 and 3. And if they're 4, 6, it's 6 and 4. And these have to sum to 10. So these are 3, 7, and 4, 6, because I can't use 1, 9 or 2, 8. So this is a 3, 7, 4, 6 quadruple, and these digits aren't 1, 2, 3, 4, they're 5, 8, 9. This one can't be a 5 or an 8. That's a 9, and these are a 5, 8 pair, and the 5 here means this is the 8 and this is the 5. Oh, that's cool. There's no 3 here, so there's no 7 here. That's the 4, 6. This is the 3, 7. Okay, can I continue this? Maybe down here. Because one of those needs to be a 3-cell 10-sum without a 3, so it can't be 2, 3, 5. So it must have a 1 in it without a 3. It could be 1, 4, 5. Well, what's the minimum here? The minimum here is 4, 6. Because I can't use 1, 2, 3, or 5. The minimum those two cells are 4, 6. So that's the divider of the 10 line. And this is now a 3-cell 10-sum without a 3 in it. If I didn't use a 1, it'd be 2. Hang on, must there... Minimum digits here are 1, 2. I can't use 3. 1, 2, 4, which is 7. If I don't use a 1, the minimum here is 2, 4, 5. So there must be a 1 on this line. And then I need 2 digits that sum. I could go 1, 1, 8 though. So let's. Yeah, this one's way too free. I could do 1, 1, 8. Yeah, this one can't have, yeah, these can't be duplicates though, because these sum to an odd digit. I was worried about that. So I'm not sure about this. I know 2 is in one of those 2 digits. How do these lines work? They've got to all sum to, they've just got to sum to 10. Because I can't do a 2-cell 10-sum. A single-cell 10-sum doesn't work. I can't do a 2-cell 10-sum because that would leave it summing to a single 10-sum digit, which doesn't work. So these lines, a 3-cell 10-sum line just sums to 10. This is a minimum of 3. Is it this line or this line I want to look at now? Because 1 is in one of those 2. And 1 is in one of those. Oh, if 1 is in one of those, I can't use 2 1s on this line. Because if I use 2 1s on this line, there'd be no 1 in this box. If this was a 1 and this was a 1, there'd be no 1 in this box. because 1 here and 1 here, which is the only way I could use 2 1s on this line. So there is a 1 on this line and there's a 1 here. Now that doesn't tell me much about 1 in this box, but it does mean there's not 2 1s on this line. So there is a 1 on this line. If I use a 2, so it's either 1 and then 2 digits something to 9. If it's 127, it can't be 136 or 145 because I've now got 2 digits something to 9, so I can't duplicate again. So 127 can't be 136 or 145. There's no 5 here. There's no 2 here. In fact, 2 is in one of those two. So, yeah. There's no 4 in either of those. So, yeah, this could never have been a 5. I'm not sure how to use that. 1, 2, 3. These are 4, 6, 7, and 9. Hang on, I've got this wrong. This is wrong. These have to sum to 9. They can't be 1, 8. They can't be 2, 7. 3, 6 with 6 here and 3 here, or 4, 5 with 4 here and 5 here. That's better. One is in here somewhere. What's the maximum I can put on? I can put a 7 on one of these lines, but I could never put an 8 on one of these lines because oh no, I could. 811 would work. I can't put a 9 on one of these lines. So 8. Five is in one of those two. 3. Okay. 1 is up here as well. So what's the minimum here? Am I looking at minimums? The minimum here is 3. The minimum here is 3. So the maximum here is 4. So this can only be a 3 or a 4 because the minimum here is 3. The minimum here is 3. So the minimum those can sum to is 6 because I can't use 1 or 2 here and I can't use 1 or 2 here. So if this was any higher than 4, this line would break its 10 sum. And it can't be 1 or 2. So this, the minimum those two can be is 6. So this is 3 or 4. And the minimum those two could be is 3 or 6. So this is 3 or 4. I can never go above 4 in any of these. That's unexpected. And they must be 3, 3, and 4. Because I can't put 1 or 2 in any of them. So this is 3, 3, 4 in some order. There's 2 3s and a 4 in this. That. If that's a 3, neither of those could be 3 and we're broken. That's a 5. So that's 6. That's a 4. Makes this a 1-5 pair. Is it the breakdown of this line? Maybe, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the minimum these can be are 3 and 6. And if there must be a 3 in here. If there's no 3 on this section, I think this has to be 3, 7. If there's no 3 on this section, then the minimum these could be would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These would be 6 and 7 and some to 13. So there's a 3 on here. But if this is 3, 6, that sums to 9. And I'd need to get it to a 10 sum by adding a 1 there, and I can't do it. This is a 3, 7, and that is the delineation of this line. And now this is a 10 sum. And the 3 makes that the 7 and that the 3. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. Which I have no idea how to do anything with. That's a 3 now, though, by Sudoku. because I can't put 3 in any of those, and 3s are limiting that to a 3. So those have to sum to 7, which is either 1, 6 or 5, 2. But the 3 here means that's the 4, so both of those are 3, making that the 7 and that the 3. These are 6, 8, and 9. Huh. If this is... what's this triple? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7, 8, 9. There's no 8 there. Hmm. Four is in one of those two. So this is 6, 7, or 9. I always make mistakes on 10-line puzzles and get very negative comments, and I'm trying to avoid it this time. I probably won't. Is it this line? Because the minimum, if this is 1, 4. So this is 1, 4, 6. The minimum it could be is 7, or maximum it could be is 7 if those are 1 and 2. Oh, 8, 1, 1. It actually could go as high as 8 if both of those are 1. Oh. Okay. Those sum to 7. 1, 6 or 2, 5. If this is 2, 5, this is 1, 7, and that would be a 2. So we'd have 2 and 2. That's only a 4 or a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is only a 4 or a 6, giving me a 4, 6 pair. So this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 1, 2, 5. And that can't be a 5. Does that do anything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are only from 6, 7, 8, 9. I could have got that a different way, but I don't think it actually helps. So this digit, 1, 2, can't be 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6, 7, 8, 9s everywhere, and I can't see how to resolve them. If this is 7, this is 1, 2. Right, this can't be a 7. If this is a 7, this would be 1, 2, leaving this is 5, 6, and I've blown the total. There's no 7 there. If this is a 1, those sum to 9, which would be 7. That can't be a 7. If that's a 7, oh no, 1, 2. If that's a... If that... This is where 10-line puzzles break my brain. I do remember spending a lot of time making this one and testing it to try and make sure it all worked. And this one has been tested. 3 in this box. 3 can't be in any of those or any of those. This is a 3, so these have to sum to 7. So this can't be an 8 anymore. It's either 1, 6, which it can't be. So this isn't a 1 because this can't be a 6. It's either 4, 3, which it can't be. This is a 6, so this is a 1. And the 6 makes that the 4 and that the 6. The 6 also says this isn't a 6. The 4 takes 4 out of there. So this is 1 or 2. One takes 1 out of there and 1 out of there. There must be a 1 on this line though, because otherwise it'd have to be 2, 3, 5, and it can't be 2, 3, 5. There's no 5 on the line. There is a 1 in one of those two. And now 1 must be here because 1 in this row. I can't put 1 in either of those, can't put 1 in any of those. That's a 1. Looking up saying that's not a 1, so that's a 1. The 6 makes this the 2. 2 and 3 is 5. That's the 5. That's the 1. Looking across saying that's the 2. That's the 1, which means that has to be the 7 to get the 10 sum working. Wow. So these are 6, 8, and 9 to complete the row. 7 is in one of those two. 1, 2, 5 is in one of those two for the row, but that 5 is saying not there. That's a 5, and this is 8, 9, and the 8 is looking down, making that the 9, making that the 8. I can take 8 out of both of those. I can take 9 out of both of those. This is 6, 7, or 8. Oh, the 8 looks down, making this the 6, so this is a 7, 8 pair. The 6 takes 6 out of both of those, so this is the 9, this is the 6, this is the 8. These, I want to 4, 5, and 9. 5 comes out of there. The 4 comes out of there. And I've done all the 10 lines now. What a puzzle. 1 is in one of those two by Sudoku from those ones, but that 1 says not there. That's the 1. 6 is not in any of those, so it's in one of those two. This column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, and 7. So these are 4 and 7. Two is looking up, making that the 5 and that the 2. So that looks down saying that's not the 5. That's a 4, 9 pair. That's the 5. So this column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are an 8, 9 pair. 2 is in one of those two for the column. Yeah, 2 and 2, and 2 means 2 is right there. This is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. There's no 4 there. There's no 7 in either of those. So this is 6, 4, and 7, making that the 4, that the 7, which makes that the 9. This is now a 4, 6, but the 4 is looking across, making that the 6, that the 4, that the 6, which makes that the 4. The 6 and the 9 look across, making that the 8, making that the 9 because of the 6 and the 8. This triple, let's just put it in. 2, 6, no, not 2, 6, 7, and 9. The 6 and the 9 make that the 7, taking 7 out of those. The 9 looks up, making that the 6 and that the 9. This column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, and 7, and the 2 makes that the 7 and that the 2. This box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, and the 6 makes that the 8 and that the 6. This row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's the 9. The 9 looks across, making that the 8 and that the 9. This row is missing, it's 8. The 8 and the 9 makes that the 7, making that the 8 and that the 7. And the 9 looks down, making that the 4 and that the 9. And that is how you solve. See, again, it's 114 days since I put this into the final testing phase, which means it was after it got its first test solve. This is Speed Limit by BremSter. Yeah. I've been sitting on these puzzles for a while. It's because I want to break up the difficulties and everything so that not every pack got too hard. This one is a little bit harder than some of the others, but I still think the puzzles are good. I'll let you let me know in the comments. But I am recording these still. I'm recording set 6 as set 4 is being released on the channel. So, yeah, it's a bit weird, but you know, it's the way it goes. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you're enjoying the puzzles, and as always, good luck with your solving.